Okay, here's the deal. You're buying a unit, you love it, you've negotiated the price, and you're doing your research on the property, and bad news, it's a terrible strata and strata search. What to do next? We're going to give you some big money making advice.
I'm the ringleader, so listen
Mr. Expert Real Estate Agent, Josh Wapshott. Good morning.
How are you, Mr. Novak? Good morning.
Very good, very good, very good, ladies and gentlemen. Josh is one of the great new agents at Novak, and boy has he been tearing it up since he started with us. And wanted to have you on this morning to talk about your experience with these stratas, because it'd be pretty foreign for you to see some of these bad stratas, but they are out there. But what people wanted to share with what you see people do when they get a bad strata. So they're buying the property, and they're in love, and that looks good on the outside and it looks good on the inside, and the price is right and the location's good. But what happens? Tell me more.
Well, yeah, very. It is one of those things that sometimes can throw a spanner in the works. But what I like to describe it as a bit of short-term pain for long-term gain. And what I mean by that is essentially these properties most of the time are priced with having whatever issues there may be wrong with the property. So I find it as a bit of an opportunity for buyers to look at this more of a positive light than negative. I think what really drives price in any market is your old demand and supply. And I think with a lot of these strata buildings, or whether it be a warehouse, whether it be a unit, what you find obviously is that strata issue then lowers that demand for quite a large sum, and less buyers to compete with. So a lot of the time people are shy away from these sort of scenarios, but you actually find that the strata costs that you'll incur over the next, whether it be 6 months, 24 months, the cost you incur there, you'll find that you're actually buying the property with taking that into account, and even more so. So yeah, it's a great opportunity to actually walk into a property. Yes, a bit of short-term pain with some high strata rates, but once that's all said and done, and that report's updated, well, that property is going to recover greatly in regards to value once those issues are sorted. What have you seen, Mark?
Yeah, look, I think people got there's a couple of pieces to this, and I love the saying, equity comes with clean hands. When you own 10 units, and when there's 10 units and there's 10 different owners, and the units are worth, in DY there are two, but $1 million each, then there's $10 million worth of equity. These people act in a manner, because there's equity, they act with clean hands. They act in a manner that's fair, equitable. They act in a manner that's reason reasonable. They negotiate correctly. They get stuff fixed. They get stuff done. My point is, they get they get there. They get the repair done at what the cost is. Now, people may be sitting here running, what the hell does bad strata mean? Like, what does Brad Strata look like? Well, Josh, give us some examples.
We've got, plenty of examples would be like replacing the cladding, the fireproof cladding on the front. I know we've got one of those down on Pacific. You've got obviously your water issues. As buildings age, you're going to
Fire
get,
upgrades.
yeah,
Things
there's
change.
plenty.
They need a fire upgrade.
Yeah, exactly right.
Um,
I mean, there's quite a few.
what other ones do you see? Concrete spalling. So,
Cancer,
you know,
yeah,
yeah.
your old concrete,
We
cancer,
that.
water,
Um,
obviously water being a big one.
yeah, the classic's water. So waterproofing failure. So it's where there's Sometimes there's a deck on top of the building that fails and water seeps through units below. Now, when you start reading up on a strata as a buyer and you're looking at this and you're a first home buyer, you're like, what the hell is happening in this building? I would rather just go and buy another building that doesn't have any problems. I won't. I'll go down the rabbit hole a little bit, because people must be thinking to themselves, how has this happened so much in society today? And why wasn't this happening in the 80s and 90s? You know, because some of these buildings a lot of these buildings that we're selling in DY are 60 years old, 60. So they're pretty old and they're rock solid. They're built well. And I'll tell you why. Class 2 building, 2 words. I used to get, for example, I remember this classic crack on a building that we had in Freshwater that we're selling. It was a property that I owned, and Luigi came out. Luigi looked at the crack in the corner, going from, crack was about the ground gave way a little bit, and it cracked. So cracked the brickwork. So Luigi would come out and go, it's about a week's work. And you go, mate, how long have you been bricklaying for? 40 years. You sure you got the capacity? No problems. How long will it take? Week and a half. So he comes out by himself, puts some props up and, takes the bricks out, puts the bricks back, and it comes back, done. Fast track 15 years. Luigi comes out. He says, and you ask him the same question. He's been doing a long time. He can do it. And he says, I can't do this. You go, what do you mean? He goes, I need to get, the correct equipment. I need to get, you go, where's your insurance, Luigi? Oh, here's my insurance. I need to get this. I need to get that. I need to get this approval. I need to get that approval. Okay. Fast forward another 10 years, you see Luigi, go, Luigi, are you still doing bricklaying? He goes, yes, but I don't work for myself anymore. Why? It was too hard. And you go, what do you mean? He goes, well, every time I have to do a job like this, engineering reports, that report, this report, that report's council, blah, blah, strata, blah, 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 insurance. So the job that Luigi would have charged $5,000 for, $3,000 for 25 years ago, is now $250,000. It's going through a big building company. It's a process that takes a hell of a lot of time. So with bad stratas, the reason it's they're often bad is the level of compliance is disgusting or beautiful, depending on who you ask. But it's become a laborious and not a quick fix. So fire upgrades, those essential items were not essential 25 years ago. Bang, there's the cost. Waterproofing, the one-man band that used to come and fix your waterproofing and to get stuff done, bang, that's gone.
Yeah, exactly right. There has been a big change in that area over time. But yeah, I definitely think that you're right in saying that it's to be looked at as more of an opportunity. I think sometimes, and it's just about taking the cards you dealt and making it work for you. I think that I've seen a few properties on there, even a warehouse that we have that needs quite a bit of work. But when you look at what you're getting for your money, you're probably looking at, sort of levies, you'd be looking at anywhere between 30, 40 grand. But if you compare the square meter rate and what you're getting for the building, you're probably saving 80.
Yeah.
Something that you'd buy somewhere else. So
okay.
A lot of it, yeah.
So here's the silver lining. You've just said it. Can you say that one again? This is the whole reason. If you can buy well in a strata, you should buy it. This is the silver lining of a bad strata. Over to you, Mr. Wapshott.
Yeah, so I think that's just what we find a lot of the time is the strata cost that you're going to be upfront for, or what it's going to cost you is going to be less than the discount you're going to be getting on market for comparables. And I think that's the big ticker there. So obviously, whether it be a warehouse or whether it be a unit house, I find that being that buyer that's ready to move on a property such as that is in your favor as the buyer as opposed to the vendor. And what you'll find is the saving you'll make on market for a comparable property will be more so than the amount you spend on that extra strata. And that's what I think people,
So if you can
they
buy
see the
for
strata
100
report.
grand less,
There's
yes.
big opportunities in there, because they the first thing they do, like any buyer, they look at the report and they go, wow, I'm out of here. But take that research that step further. Taking condition, like anything, you take into comparison the condition and then obviously the price. So what I would do is not just stop at that report, take that information in. Obviously everyone's level of risk is different, but then start popping that comparable price to other properties on the market. And what you'll find there is what you're up for in terms of strata will be less than if you were to buy the same property or same type of property next door. So I think there's a big, and that's why I say,
Panel beaters have been doing it for years, Josh. Panel beaters
Pardon?
have been doing it for years.
Exactly
beaters
right.
have been doing it for years.
Exactly right. And I think it's just for people to understand.
The panel beater buys the car damaged that no one else wants to buy, but buys it so goddamn cheap, does the quick fix and the good fix, and sells it for a huge profit. It's possible to do that with bad stratas.
Yeah, and I think that's a perfect analogy of what you put there, Mark. And I think the other thing as well is it's not like there is no going around corners with these things as well. You know, you've most likely a lot of the time engaged a professional strata company that, you know, will be going over these reports independently. So I feel that as if you're buying in, work's done, you know it's complete, you know it's done properly. This is then uploaded to the report for the next lot of buyers. So the next time this property comes on the market, oh wow, it did have this, and this, but that's all fixed now. It's basically almost brand new. And that's the way that your next
Josh,
buyer is going to.
Can you give me an example of a real property where that's happened that you've witnessed recently?
There's definitely probably more of a warehouse one I've got, where it's a relatively new build over at Villiers. Relatively new build. There's a few minor things I'll need to fix up, but if what you're getting for that warehouse in terms of size, fixtures, fittings, what it offers you, I would say, you know, if that's squeaky clean, you're probably getting an extra $200,000 on market for that sort of warehouse in that location.
Potentially.
Yeah.
So your so that example there, you believe because of the strata situation, it's being discounted, and you believe
Correct.
when that strata is fixed, boy, it will be fixed. Coming out the other end, it may take years. But when you come out the other end, you're going to be slingshotting the price. You know, you're going to be slingshotting the price. And the good news is that you're buying for less, and you're actually within your lot. You're not affected. So these guys are going to be, you know, the lucky buyer who's going to be using it is going to be renting it unaffected or occupying it unaffected, and then getting this discount built in. So there you go. Hopefully that illustrates to people bad strata.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
What a bargain it can be.
Yeah, it's an opportunity, not always something bad to look at. So I'd just say look beyond the report and do your comparables on market and with a good real estate agent that's possible. So let us help you, and we'll make it easy for you.
Boom. Thanks, Mr. Wapshott.
Thank you, Mr. Novak. See you guys.
Love you out there, bro. Well done, Novak Djokovic. Woo! See you guys. See you.